Yeah, so once again, I'm live again. Me and Shaq. Um, so we just want to talk about a few issues. You get a chance and do whatever you need to do. I talk about a lot of stuff, especially this free speech thing going on. A lot of stuff about free speech going on. So I want to play it, but I want to do it in a first of all, let me stop. So first of all, my fair use copyright disclaimer on Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allows made fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news report, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use of the use permitted by copyright statute, otherwise might be infringing. So, with that being said, I'm gonna play this video. If I'm playing off the phone though.
All right, let her rip.
Happy Wednesday. Good evening and welcome to Chak.
That's not it.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight, Sheila Jackson Lee is famous in Washington for being the single most obnoxious member of Congress. Now, that's the title that, as you can imagine, has many contenders. But Sheila Jackson Lee stands alone. Don't attendant in the first-class cabin on a Continental flight. I am Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Where is my seafood meal? In the 1990s, during a visit to NASA, Sheila Jackson Lee demanded to see the flag that astronauts had planted on Mars. When gently informed that no human being has ever been to Mars because it's very far away, Lee flew into a rage. She accused NASA of racism and pointed out her membership on the, quote, Science Committee in Congress, and so on. We could spend the entire hour on Sheila Jackson Lee stories, and it's tempting. On Capitol Hill, she's known as the Queen, and not in a good way. But what's interesting is that nobody ever talks about the congressional district that Sheila Jackson Lee supposedly represents. It's mostly inner city Houston, and it could use some help. Lee's district has a poverty rate almost twice the national average, with all the usual markers of civilizational decline: high crime, bad schools, low social cohesion, drugs. Now, Lee has, quote, served in Congress for nearly 30 years, but it's hard to think of a single thing she has ever done to improve the lives of the people who elected her. She doesn't seem interested. Instead, Sheila Jackson Lee has devoted her entire political career, indeed her entire life, to a single cause: shrieking about white racism. That's what Sheila Jackson Lee does for a living. Here's a selection.
Institutional racism and systemic racism taints and spoils the way that America treats, in one instance, African Americans, and other instances, minorities. The dastardly impacts of white nationalism, white supremacy, and outright racism. Racism is a national security threat. Racism is a national security threat. Racism is a national security threat. Institutional racism does exist, and until we accept that, we will not finish our job. We will not elect a chief bigot of the United States of America. Our system is such that it then allows Americans, people, to act in instances in a racist manner.
Racism, you see, is a national security threat. It's a national security threat. Really, Sheila Jackson Lee? Tell us how racism is a national security threat. Speak slowly. We've got plenty of time. But of course, she won't do that. She's got no argument. She's got no facts. She doesn't even have a sincere belief in what she's saying. It's absurd, and she knows it. And by the way, Sheila Jackson Lee doesn't want to protect a country she despises from national security threats. Why would she want to do that? No, that's not the point. What she's doing here every day is leveling a racial attack, a blood libel against an entire group of Americans, while simultaneously pretending to be the victim of attacks from that same group. Stop hitting me, she howls as she punches you in the face. It's such a common tactic at this point, used constantly by Al Sharpton, by the ADL, by so many others, that you may not even notice it anymore. but it's still disgusting, it's still immoral, it's still divisive. Here's Joe Biden doing it.
And finally, we're confronting the stains of what remains the deep stain on the soul of the nation: hate and white supremacy. You know, there's a tough through line of subjugation of enslaved people from our earliest days to the reigns of radicalized terror, the KKK, to Dr. King being assassinated. The violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago, it was about white supremacy, in my view.
Speaking of blood libel, because that's what it is, protesting the 2020 election results is the same as slavery. As the KKK, it's the same as murdering Martin Luther King. It's all white supremacy, declares Joe Biden, without defining the term. Now, you may recall when Joe Biden said that. You probably dismissed it at the time as ridiculous, as the rantings of a senile partisan, and of course, that's what it was. But you should also keep in mind that Joe Biden did not say that by accident. It wasn't an ad lib, off the cuff. No, his staff signed off on that speech. They wrote it, they read it before he read it. And they wrote it for a reason. When the President of the United States identifies a threat to this country, his many federal agencies, the biggest in the world, swing into action to neutralize that threat. That's how the system works, as Joe Biden's staff well knows. So, in fact, when Joe Biden likens you to Al-Qaeda or the Klan, it's not a small thing at all. It has implications. So here's Sheila Jackson Lee from last week in a not unrelated clip calling for the renewal of the Patriot Act. Watch.
I remember after 9/11 when we all worked together to ensure the protection of the American people through the Patriot Act and dealing with the FISA courts. We worked together because truth is important.
Now, that's kind of strange if you think about it. So why would Sheila Jackson Lee, a self-described liberal, find herself last week praising the secret government courts that liberals once opposed passionately on the grounds that those courts could be used to destroy the constitutional rights of Americans without anyone knowing about it? Secret courts? Liberals were against secret courts, and now the chief liberal in Congress is strongly for secret courts. What's going on here? Why? Well, because those secret courts turn out to be a highly effective way to silence the critics of the Democratic Party, to silence those so-called white supremacists Joe Biden's always yelling about. Not all of whom, by the way, are white. You don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. You just have to oppose the agenda. And of course, Sheila Jackson Lee knows that very well, and that's why she wants to renew the Patriot Act indefinitely. And there are enough dumb Republicans that she may be able to. But Sheila Jackson Lee would like to go a lot further than that. Lee has just introduced a bill called the Leading Against White Supremacy Act of 2023. Now, it's not an exaggeration to say this single bill would do more to criminalize speech, previously constitutionally guaranteed speech, than any other piece of legislation that has been proposed in the entire history of this country. That's not an overstatement at all, and to prove it, we're going to read directly from the bill. Here it is, quote, "A conspiracy to engage in white supremacy-inspired hate crime shall be determined to exist between two or more persons, at least one of whom published material advancing white supremacy, white supremacist ideology, antagonism based on, quote, replacement theory, or hate speech that vilifies or is otherwise directed against any non-white person or group," end quote. Now, nowhere in the legislation is the term white supremacy or white supremacist ideology ever defined. Of course, it's never defined. It's left open. It's subjective. Anything can be white supremacy. But the bill does specifically point to something called replacement theory, white supremacist ideology. If you engage in either one of them, you go to federal prison, possibly for a very long time. So all that's required under this piece of legislation, which has not been laughed out of Congress yet, all that's required is that your political opinions, quote, could, as determined by a reasonable person, motivate actions by a person predisposed to engaging in a white supremacy-inspired hate crime. So what would qualify as a felony under this law? Well, virtually everything, but among them would be pointing out the Democratic Party politicians, including Chuck Schumer, the leading Senate Democrat, have long bragged that they are flooding this country with immigrants in order to change the demography to maintain political power for themselves. They've said that many times. They've written it. They've bragged about it on camera. But if you notice it under this bill, you would be criminally responsible for the violent acts of people you have never met. And you would go to jail for terrorism. Now, what's most interesting about this bill is that it's race specific. Nothing in Sheila Jackson Lee's legislation would apply to, say, black supremacy or murder sprees by people who aren't white supremacists. The massacre in Waukesha, for example. So that means that Democratic Party politicians can continue to say whatever they want with impunity. The First Amendment still applies to them, but not to anyone who doesn't vote for them. So that's the definition of tyranny. It's horrifying. It's a direct attack on the Bill of Rights, on our core freedoms guaranteed by the U.S. government for 250 years. We shouldn't be surprised by this, however, because it's consistent with what Biden has promised. His promise since the day he got into office. And the promise was that race-blind justice, which is the entire foundation of the rule of law in the West, has been for centuries, is done. The new model, South Africa. That's the new model, South Africa, a country we never talk about because no one wants to admit what's happened there over the past 29 years. But on the basis of that, Biden tried to allocate farm aid on the basis of skin color. A federal judge blocked that plan, but it has not stopped the Democratic Party because no one's repudiated the idea. No one on the right has been brave enough to say, no, the federal government can never award or punish on the basis of skin color. That is immoral and is contrary to American law. And because no one has said that, Democrats, including Sheila Jackson Lee, have decided that their opponents are terrorists. And they're terrorists because of their race. And once you're a terrorist, what do we get to do? We get to take all your stuff. We get to seize your assets. It shouldn't surprise you that is actually unfolding in the state of California. Always the leading edge of lunacy. Watch this.
These economists have worked alongside us over this past year to come up with potential estimates for what reparations in the form of compensation or cash payments can look like for African Americans. That $500 billion number represents the state of California's maximum culpability for racist redlining practices, and that number represents the state of California's maximum liability. It is not a final recommendation coming out of the task force. Final recommendations do not come out until July 1 of 2023.
Now, everything about this, of course, is bad and wrong, not just in practice, but in principle. But in practice, it sets up an incentive that the whole country is going to have to grapple with fairly soon. We've already been told that you can change your sex, your immutable characteristic, just by wishing it so. Men can become women, women can become men. Why then can't people change their race? That's a sincere question that is waved away as ridiculous, but it's not any more ridiculous than changing your sex. In fact, it's the same. So under laws like this, there is a huge incentive to change your race because you get paid for doing that. What are we going to do about that? But what's interesting and sadly predictable is that as politicians in California and the rest of the country decide how they're going to loot the treasury in the name of racial justice, the communities they supposedly serve are falling apart in real, tangible, measurable ways. People are dying. Axios, for example, reports that carjackings in D.C. have risen for the 5th straight year. Ask anyone who lives there. Ask the D.C. council candidate who was carjacked in broad daylight a year ago.
A vehicle stolen Friday may be linked to multiple crimes in Northeast, including the murder of 19-year-old Devin Brewer. There was a drive-by shooting on Central Avenue Northeast. Both victims survived. A lookout for the same Highlander went out over police radio. The plates on the car appear to match the burgundy Highlander used to carjack a D.C. council candidate at gunpoint. Nate Fleming was at a gas station on Nanny Helen Burroughs Avenue Northeast. He says when the suspect pulled a gun, he gave up the keys, then went into the convenience store to call 911. He says one of the guys came in to stop him from doing that, chasing him out of the store.
So instead of doing anything about that, in D.C., the leaders are doing what Sheila Jackson Lee does, shrieking about white racism, as if that's the problem, or even a related problem. Of course, it has nothing to do with carjackings. As for actual carjackings that are killing people, making taxpayers leave D.C., terrifying everyone in the city, Well, the D.C. City Council has just passed a bill that will lighten the punishment for carjacking as well as other violent crimes. So here's what you have. At the same time that Sheila Jackson Lee would like to make it a, quote, hate crime, a felony for disagreeing with her, her compatriots in D.C. and across the country are making it easier for you to get killed by an actual carjacker. Anarcho-tyranny is the name of that system, and it's spreading because no one's saying anything about it. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
All right, so that's basically about the censorship they're trying to push by Sheila Jackson Lee in the World Economic Forum. What do you think about it, man? Kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a pretty long one there, because that can go so many angles. You know what I mean? Oof. Yeah, that can go so many angles. Because just like the same thing with that Patriot Act thing, I mean, in any other legislation that these people try to apply, what is all the verbiage in there? It's not going to just be stopped at the one they trying to push. You got to look at all the verbiage that's going to be in there. And if they're going to do that with so-called white supremacy, like he said, it's in it. Why they just didn't just put a hate bill? See, why they doing all these little things? Why they just put a hate bill that can stop hate from people hating on any and everybody, hating on anybody, right? Because what if you say something like, say, what if another legislation that's in there, some other verbiage that's in these bills that say something about, like you said, about you saying something about the medical industry, or you saying something about the insurance industry, or saying something about the IRS. You know what I mean? This stuff can go endless, man. Like, and we don't necessarily have people that has the interests, the best interest for the United States, the people, the American people. I'm not going to say United States. I'm going to say the American people interests. A lot of these bills and stuff is for corporate and private entities interests. A lot of them be writing up and paying people, be paying these politicians a bark from these corporate giants and these outside foreign investors and stuff. You know what I mean? And they bring in their politics, and their politics is being implemented in our politics, our American politics. So we don't necessarily, us, the people, we are the majority. The people are the majority. The government is the minority. We got to get that right. We are the majority. The American people, the citizens, are the majority. The government and these private sectors, that certain government sectors allow to bring in these policies, terms, and conditions. They ain't laws. They don't have power to change laws, but they are allowed to come in and to put restrictions, policies, terms, municipalities against the American people. Because we have seen in the past years that these people, these politicians, these people in certain government, they don't even follow the laws and policies that they put in place. So who is holding the people that's in government accountable? Shouldn't the people be the ones? The First Amendment is one of those rights that we have to hold any and everybody accountable. Just because you're in law don't mean you above the law. I'll pass the mic.
Don't you think that's odd? Don't you think that's odd that that's how they're handling things, though?
I think it's how they handle it. That's just how. This is what happens when you have, these are the same situation. See, a lot of things that the Constitution, original Constitution, was written by the people. The people wrote that in their interests, not for the corporate interests, right? The interests of the American people, the sovereign people. And the person in this, so-called duplicated constitution, a corporation can be considered a person. So you better learn law. We need to start out. We need to start really read these law books and actually know.
I want you to hear this right here.
Former CNN anchor Brian Stelter hosted a panel on media disinformation and claimed the U.S. has a lot to learn from potentially your internet regulators. As part of the panel, European Commissioner Jourova weighed in on the topic of hate speech. Let's hear what she had to say.
As illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the US. I think we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. We need the platforms to simply work with the language and to identify such cases. The AI would be too dangerous.
Also on the panel, the New York Times' A.B. Stoltzberger discussed the state of today's, quote, information ecosystem.
Term fake news and then disinformation, it was popularized 6 years ago at this point. Where are we today versus then?
What do you mean, where are we today versus then?
So this was a hot, popular topic.
Yeah.
There was an awakening about it. The social networks felt pressure, but now where are we? And same question for Jeannie, but where are we today?
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a great, and to be clear, actually, terms like fake news and enemies of the people have been popularized cyclically in society and in some of the most, repressive and dangerous moments, Nazi Germany, Stalinist Russia, right? So I think anytime we're hearing language like that applied to, a free press, or more broadly free expression, I think we should be really worried. Look, I think that there's no doubt that society seems to have at some level accepted how much the information ecosystem has been poisoned. And I think it's going to require real sustained effort from the platforms, from political leaders, from business leaders, and from consumers themselves to reject that.
So I watched your panel. It was about 45 minutes last night, and I wrote about it for Reason. It was very interesting. So there were some of the panel members pushing back a little bit. They were grappling with the question of, well, on one hand, free speech. On the other hand, we're very worried about disinformation. What the trade-off? So the panel members, Brian Stelter was kind of the host. Then there was that woman who is a member of the European Commission, which is the governing body of the European Union.
I'm not gonna get too much in that because it's too much. That's a long video. I just wanted to just let you get a riff of what they talking about over there. I didn't want to really hear them talk. I wanted to let you know that they actually have panels over there in WL talking about free speech and what they need to make it legal and stuff. They also talk about treating migrants and citizens and a lot of other stuff too. It's a whole lot they cover in that whole package. A lot of things going on with that. What do you think, man? You hear me? Yo.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I had you on mute. Yeah, I was talking to somebody.
Yeah, a lot of things going on with that, though.
Man, they keep us busy, man. I tell you that, dog. But that first one, that freedom of speech, man. That is.
Are they keeping us busy? Microsoft just laid off 10,000 people today.
Yeah, Microsoft. I mean, Amazon keep laying off people. They keep laying off, like they laying off text, some of their texts and stuff now. So, hey man, what they doing? But they're gonna turn around and have another hiring thing around by March though. By the time the spring hit, they're gonna turn around. Had this big hiring thing, but this the trick, Bernard. Who are they gonna hire? And who are these jobs going to be for? Are we going to get those jobs? Are we going to be, you know?
I don't know. They said that the WEF, that the migrants contributed to the economy, and people need to stop disrespecting them.
But you keep calling them migrants, but they're illegal immigrants. First of all, they violated the law. Like I said, now how are they going to end up telling us what to do? See, this is what pisses me off. We're American citizens. We're supposed to abide by the law, right? If we break the law, we get penalized. But you mean to tell me y'all going to allow illegal immigrants to break the law, deliberately break the law? That means the people that allow them to break the law should be held accountable. That should be you should be a co-conspirator in them allowing them to break a law. You're co-conspirators then. These people need to be locked up then. They need to be penalized. Then you're going to disrespect American citizens, taxpayers, and tell them,
all right,
well, y'all ought to be outraged.
This is an interesting article right here. We've been saying this all along, Shaq. CNN and Washington Post, WAPO COVID expert claims number of pandemic deaths has been overcounted and that many people died while sick with it's not of it. Dr. Lena Nguyen says the number of deaths attributed to COVID-19 may be greater than the number of people actually dying from the virus. Experts say patients hospitalized with other illnesses may also test positive, but the virus may not have been a contributing factor to their death. Well, that's good to know. 19, 20, it's interesting to know after they'd already done the damage, you know. So it's kind of like, yeah, just letting you know the cat and mouse game. But they got you again. Made you look. All right. That's interesting. So what do you think about it? It's kind of interesting they admitting all the truth, man. What do you think?
Man, look at it, man. We keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe, man. Keep falling for it, dog. But they keep, they're doing an excellent job of keeping the majority of people distracted and, like I said, busy, man. You know, people trying to pay their bills, they raising taxes, inflation and stuff, man, and people trying to scramble and, you know, find jobs,
There's some breaking news for you.
Income that was lost. Mm-hmm.
This is some breaking news for you happening today. This is something that Shaq wanted to talk about. Shaq said this was going to happen. You've been calling this for a long time, didn't you, Shaq?
Breaking news as well. Some Bank of America customers say missing from their accounts. People are sounding off about this on social media. And this morning, we know of at least one person who says their checking account was wiped clean. We've reached out to Bank of America for comment. We are waiting to hear back from the company. Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe.
So if people missing money out their accounts, they wiped clean, daggone. That's what the big news on Bank of America. Their money was wiped out their account. How did that happen, Shaq?
How did that happen? Great question. And they say through the Zelle, through this affiliate, third-party affiliate called Zelle. Now, a lot of banks, I ain't gonna say a lot. Some banks, other banks have Zelle. I think Navy Federal have Zelle. They do, it's almost like a form of Cash App, right? This Zelle. feature that these banks have, where it's like you can transfer money to money from account to account, from straight from someone that in your contacts, almost like a cash transfer back and forth from one party to another party. So I don't know if a bunch of people was using Zelle and the information got compromised. But I definitely gonna check my my chicken account, check my transactions and stuff over the last 3 to 6 months. Go over, make sure ain't no funds was unauthorized out of my account. That's it's time to do our own investigations and stuff, man. Check up on these things, man, because scamdemic, these scamdemics is going to continue to happen to us, man. The internet is a gift and a curse. We keep talking about that. This digital world is a gift and a curse. This digital coin, this digital dollar, this crypto, it's a gift and a curse. And most of it is I mean, seem like scams. That's illegal scams is allowed, to be performed, man. So we got to be very vigilant, over the next course of, the next 6 months to a year, because there's gonna be a lot of activity of stuff like this going on, suspicious stuff going on. Identity theft. We at all-time high with identity theft, man. People running scams and stuff, calling you these scam likely numbers, calling your phone numbers and stuff. People on your social media, sending you friend requests, adding you and stuff like that. With this forex and these crypto and this cash app schemes, Ponzi schemes that these people got going on, man. Trying to gain your information and stuff through internet and stuff. People scamming people through social media and shit, man, at all-time high. We are victims of digital crimes, man. And I project that it's gonna go up. You know what I mean? So my question is, what is Bank of America gonna do? What are these other banks are gonna do to ensure the customers get justice?
You're right. What are they gonna do to make them? Well, Shaq, you always know there's a guy that's always lurking in the shadows. I'm pretty sure you know his name. He's always lurking. Because they're still at it, brother. Are you ready for one more ring around the roost, brother? He's back.
That can be the Grinch.
A troubling new survey from the Anti-Defamation League showing that anti-Semitism is on the rise in America. 20% of those polled believe in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and tropes. That's nearly double the number in 2019, a year high. Joining us now is Anti-Defamation League. So let me take off some of your findings. 53% of those surveyed say that Jews will go out of their way to hire other Jews. 40% say Jews are more loyal to the U.S. 24% say Jews have too much influence on Wall Street. All of these are inaccurate, and I'd like you to expand on how you approach the survey differently this time, and what do you do to...
Man, how are you going to say this inaccurate? See, that's what I'm saying, man. They're allowed to tell us what the hell. Everybody that's picking on them, but they're not allowed to get the information these Jews that's picking on other people. These Jews. Come on, man.
They believe in, widely held anti-Semitic ideas. That, Andrea, is almost double the number that we saw in 2019. It's the highest level we've seen in 3 decades.
First of all, anti-Semitic, not even a legal term, dude. It's some mumbo jumbo they made up, man, to deflect.
Subscribe to at least once. And so that is pretty staggering. We also found a significant overlap between anti-Jewish conspiracy theories and highly negative sentiments toward
Anti-Jewish.
Israel.
Here we go.
So you hate the Jewish state, chances are you also dislike the Jewish people. And young people have more anti-Israel and anti-Jewish sentiment. So this isn't an issue that seems to be alleviated with younger people. In fact, it's quite pronounced. So what do? I mean, we use this information to design programs, to improve interventions. If we can understand the problem and diagnose the causes, then we have a shot at it around.
What do you attribute this to?
I think there are a few things. I mean, keep in mind that we've seen anti-Semitic incidents surge over the last few years, Andrea, as we've discussed on your show. In 21, we had nearly triple the number of anti-Semitic acts that we had back in 2016. It's the highest year on record. So I think extremists felt emboldened. I think social media has been a super spreader of anti-Semitism. And now the attitudes are following. So the attitudes are an indicator. But this is a very, honestly, it's a scary snapshot. It takes my breath away to think that literally 70%
Hey man, Jewish people commit crimes too. Jewish people are hateful toward other people. Jewish people have hateful rhetoric toward other religious groups and other ethnic groups. That's a fact.
And to think
are we going to talk about that?
The hardest core haters, this 20% of people. I mean, 52 million Americans. There's only 6.5 million Jews in the United States, Andrea. So at a time when anti-Semitism is on the rise, this data confirms.
Now, hold on, pause it for a minute, Bernard.
We did this study with the University of Chicago. We did it. It was peer reviewed by a panel of academics. I mean, this is really fairly bulletproof, which makes us all this weekend, Andrea, the 1-year anniversary of incident in Louisville, Texas last year, where a rabbi was taken hostage by an ISIS-inspired person because he thought the Jews had all power. So this finds us attitudes and rhetoric.
Jonathan Greenblatt, we will follow up and keep reporting on this. Thank you.
Come on, man, with this crap, man.
Boy, I tell you, boy, if this ain't
man,
a...
You got to get it, man. He's going hard, ain't it, man? You got to give it to him, though.
Boy,
If
this ain't no showcase of Crime Wolf, boy, every chance he get, he in the book talking about what Jews are doing, what people doing to Jews, what people doing to Jew people. Hold on, do not people of the Jewish, I don't even know if we call it religious, I don't even know what it is, the Jewish community. Do they not commit crimes like everybody else?
Tomorrow.
So why he ain't talking about the crimes that Jewish people commit on other people? High crimes, sexual crimes, criminal crimes.
Now I'm gonna bring up 2 reports, okay? They're gonna be 2 minutes long.
Rabbis.
Hear this crap. This could be about something like that, but this ain't about no damn rabbi. This is more something about some dumb crap. But listen,
man, these rabbis, man, they criminals too, dude. They commit crimes too against people, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. Now listen to this. I want you to hear this though. You're right. I ain't disagreeing with that. That's 100% true. Now, watch this.
Since a gunman held 4 people hostage for hours.
Fort Worth Gaynor Hall, anti attitudes in the United
States. It was January 15th, 2022.
We're not going to tolerate this.
A hostage situation unfolding for 10 hours in a synagogue in Colleyville, Texas. A British national wielding a pistol cited anti-Semitic stereotypes and demanded the release of a Pakistani woman who is an alleged al-Qaeda operative.
I told them to go. I threw a chair at the gunman and I headed for the door.
The FBI killed the men. The hostages got away. 1 year later, a survivor tells the AP they are healing, not healed.
When we look at what occurred in Colleyville a year ago, those were driven by historic anti-Semitic misbeliefs.
David Goldenberg is the Anti-Defamation League's Midwest Regional director. They just released results of a new survey of more than 4,000 adults in the U.S. Among the findings, an alarming increase in belief in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and tropes, nearly doubling what they found in 2019.
So anti-Semitic tropes along the lines of Jews have too much power, Jews have charges of dual loyalty, Jews are more loyal to Israel than they are to the United States. There's roughly 11 of them. Our survey showed that 20% of those surveyed said yes, that they believed in at least 6 of those 11 anti-Semitic tropes.
Goldenberg says
How's it
anti-Semitic
anti-Semitic if
attitudes
they
often
actually if
fuel
they're
social
if
media
they're real?
can lead to violence.
Those of us who've been on the front lines, to be honest, are not overly surprised because we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of anti-Semitic incidents.
He says everyone has a role to play in combating hate.
It's not just limited to instances of anti-Semitism. We have to address it as it relates to racism, as it relates to xenophobia, as it relates to xenophobia, as it relates to homophobia and transphobia. We continue to see a rise in hate crimes that are directed
Oh, hold on.
at-risk and marginalized
I ain't heard them hear about no hate, no
and all
heterophobia.
of us have a role.
They didn't add
All of us
heterophobia in
have a
there
responsibility.
or straight phobia. Hold on. Why that's not in there? Why is not heterophobia not in there? Why he didn't talk about the heterophobia?
Why you
Why we
worried
not
about it?
adding?
That ain't gonna include that. They're not gonna include that. So
Huh?
why you worried about it? Why you worried about it? They're not gonna
Because
include
they said because it's supposed to be rights for all. But now you're saying there's only rights for certain people. And there's only hate that they are tracking for certain people. What about the hate for
Let me ask a
straight
question.
hate?
Let me ask a question.
hmm
I got a question for you. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What Judge Joe Brown tell you? Animal Farm, George Orwell. The pigs are more equal or something like that. Didn't he say something like that one time?
Right.
They saying they deserve all the rights and you don't deserve none of them. Now what?
And I'm contesting that and saying no. And first of all, if there are Jewish people that are getting hurt, I'm pretty sure they're PR. That's all the other people that's getting injured and hurt too. Now, this is not to downplay any person of Jewish, beliefs or community that got
Man, you
injured or
good,
feel
man.
like they've been harmed.
Hey, look,
But
man.
peep this
I
though.
don't need you to apologize, man. Relax. It's okay. Just relax.
No, I ain't no apologizing. I don't apologize. There ain't no apologizing. I'm stating
I
that
don't need you.
there might be facts. Huh?
Hey, it's okay, brother.
No, what I'm
It's okay.
saying is what they're doing is they're using small situations to make it big, making it broader than what it is, and overlooking other situations.
I got you.
Like I'm saying. hmm
I got you. You're right. Now watch this, because I'm trying to show you where they're going with this. Now, listen to this now, because this was last year. Now, why did they release this?
Hey.
Situation. I've got someone who
There's a rabbi talking.
and he says he has
someone there.
Well, you heard their voices, tense moments, and terrified congregants calling for help after a man armed with a pistol held a rabbi and 3 others hostage for nearly 12 hours.
It's been a year this Sunday since that standoff at Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville. For the first time, we are hearing the 911 calls, and we're seeing just what happened from the perspective of the officers' body cameras.
Tiffany Liu is live this morning in our newsroom with the latest. Tiffany, we know the congregation is holding a special ceremony tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to believe that this weekend marks 1 year since that standoff in Colleyville. And like you mentioned, today there will be a service held to commemorate the anniversary. Now, I want to warn you that what you're going to see and hear may be disturbing. Just last night, we got a copy of the 911 calls and body camera video from the hostage situation at Congregation Beth Israel. You could hear the testimony the morning of January 15th, 2022. Malik Faisal Akram walked into the synagogue. Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker welcomed and offered him tea before the suspect turned on the rabbi and 3 members with him. The service live and one call started pouring in from congregants who were watching online, and the rabbi called 911
I've got someone and he says he has 2 bombs.
I have 3 bombs here, my dear. You want to test me? In the next an hour and a half, Jewish people are going to die if you don't comply.
Someone is in our synagogue yelling at the rabbi obscenities.
And the video you're seeing here is the moment the survivors made a break for it, just as FBI agents were moving in shortly after police shot and killed the gunman. Now, again, tonight a service will be held to mark that 1-year anniversary. Several FBI agents and interfaith leaders will be here to show support. Karen, back.
Hold on, Bernard.
Let's stop this
So
bull.
then,
No, let's stop this.
hold on. Let me
bull.
ask you a question. I
They
gotta ask you a
released
question
the
though.
audio out the year. They happened last year, man. They happened last year. Why they release that damn audio now?
Okay. Okay. Now
Why
let
the
me
hell
ask you
they
a
do that?
question. Did
They
anybody
trying
that?
to run the agenda, man.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did anybody get harmed in that situation?
No.
Oh, so hold on. So the FBI can go in a hostage situation when somebody make a threat on a Jewish life and take him out immediately. Anybody else, they got all this negotiation, all this waiting and seeing what they're gonna do. People getting shot and killed in these hostage situations. But when it's a Jewish person, they can go in, rush in, and get and take the target out. Okay, all right,
Hey, that's something,
okay,
man.
that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's
That's
amazing.
what I was trying to let you hear. I'm glad you listened to it. That's what I was trying to let you hear. They actually said they got in and got everybody out and was able to save the day. And wait a minute.
Say today.
They didn't say that. They said the guy was yelling obscenities at the rabbi. Obscenities is what? Fuck you up. I'm going to hurt you. Whatever. But goddamn.
Right.
Hey, what the hell is that? I mean, these people are crazy, man. Yelling obscenities at the rabbi. Okay, so what?
Mm.
It make a lot of sense, man. You know.
And let's go back to that six. When it says only 6 million Jewish people in America. Okay, that could be true. I haven't tracked that. 6 million. But the problem that the people are having is the position that these 6 million are in.
Now too.
But look here. Let's go deeper. There may be 6 million, which is a small number, but look at the position that these people are in, though. I mean, not all of them. I'm talking about the position that they're in. They're in key position spots. There are positions in FBI and law enforcement, medical, finances. They're in key positions in high numbers, though. Think about it, Bernard. They're in key positions, but they're in high numbers in these key positions. So that means they could be a small so-called community of people, but if you're in key positions in high number positions, high and low government positions, and throughout the government, throughout the United States, the Americans, in corporate positions, they made up this terminology of this anti-Semitic. So that means you can't talk about them being in position. Think about that. They made this false term up saying that even if you talk about them being dominating in certain areas, that you're being anti-Semitic. So you're not allowed. They want you to talk about them being in position, but they can talk about any and everybody else, any other group, any other ethnic group, any other religious group. They can track your behavior, track your dysfunction. We need to start tracking this Jewish and start putting this Jewish people that claim this Jewish community, start putting up their crimes and they criminal activity. But once again, they hit you with the anti-Semitic shit to deflect some of the dysfunctional behavior that people that from the Jewish community do. These rabbis, lawyers, attorneys, law enforcement, people that's in medical, doctors, financial advisors, financial institutions. You mean to tell me they don't commit crimes against other people?
All right.
What you got? What you got next? What's next on the docket?
I'm going through it kind of fast, man, because I got to get some things done. I got to get up early in the morning, so you know what I'm saying. Got to do things. But I got something for you on the docket. This gonna make your head spin right here. You gonna love this. Oh, this gonna be for you right here. You and Dawson can talk about this to the hills. Come on, when this one. Oh, y'all gonna love this.
The path of Moses, a leader of inspiration, calling on people not to be afraid, and always, as my grandfather would say, keep the faith. He followed the path of Joseph, a believer in dreams and the divinity they carry and the promise they hold. And like John the Baptist, he prepared us for the greater hope ahead, one who came to bear witness to the light. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a nonviolent warrior for justice who followed the word and the way of his Lord and his Savior. On this day of remembrance, as we gather here at his cherished Ebenezer, to commemorate what would have been Dr. King's 94th birthday, we gather to contemplate his moral vision and to commit ourselves to his path, the path that leads to the beloved community, to the sacred place, that sacred hour when justice rains down like waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Folks, to the King family, I know no matter how many years pass, doesn't matter how many years pass, those days of remembrance are difficult. They bring everything back as if it happened yesterday. It's hard for you. I don't want to thank the King family, presumptuous of me to do this, but on behalf of the whole congregation, for being willing to do this year in and year out, because you give so much to the rest of us. And we love you all. We love you all. I want to thank you for the honor of inviting me to be called to America's Freedom Church. And thank you to this congregation and to all the distinguished guests, elected and non-elected officials that are here today, who've done so much over so many years, and so many young people are going to do so much more than we were able to do. I say this with all sincerity. I stand here humbled, being the first sitting president of the United States to have an opportunity to speak at Ebenezer Sunday service. Are we people,
Man, that's some sucker shit, dude.
who will choose democracy over autocracy? Couldn't ask that question 15 years ago, or thought democracy was settled, not for African Americans, but democracy as an institutional structure was settled. But it's not. It's not. We have to choose a community.
First of all,
over
y'all trying to make it a democracy. We was a republic. This country was a republic. Y'all trying to make it a democracy.
The vital of our time, and the reason why I'm here as your president, I believe Dr. King's life and legacy show us the way, and we should pay attention. I really do. Dr. Martin Luther King was born in a nation where segregation was a tragic fact of life. He had every reason to believe, as others of his generation did, that history had already been written, that the division would be America's destiny. But he rejected that outcome. He heard Micah's command to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. And so often, when people hear about Dr. King, people think of his ministry and the movement were most about the epic struggle for civil rights and voting rights. But we do well to remember that his mission was something even deeper. It was spiritual. It was moral. The goal of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which Dr. King led, stated it clearly and boldly, and it must be repeated again now, to redeem the soul of America
Man, cut that check, motherfucker.
To redeem
Cut
the
that check.
soul of
Dr.
America.
King said cut that check, nigga. He was coming to Congress to cut that check. He said cut that check before he passed away. Hey, you talking all this blah, 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 blah. If you ain't talking about cutting no check, man, and no land grants, nigga. 'Cause that's what he was on before his untimely death. He wasn't talking about no none. Hey, he was talking about cutting that check, nigga.
Hey, man.
Huh? Hey, but no, I wish somebody in that church would have stood up and said that in the middle of his church. Huh?
Man, you think them daggone clowns are gonna say that, man? Come on, man. They sit there with their masks
Man,
on.
I wish. This is what I'm saying, man. I wish somebody would have stood up and said, "Hey, Dr. Martin Luther King was talking about cutting that check at the end before he passed away, before he got assassinated by the government." You know, the same people that you say supposed to be for justice and moral. That man got assassinated, and that man was a
Martin Luther King
Republican.
got a new statue.
No damn Democrat. Huh?
Martin Luther King had a statue.
He got bamboozled too. Yeah, Martin Luther King got bamboozled too, man.
No, I don't
But
talking
once
about
he
that
realized,
statue in Full Road, I look like a penis.
it do, man. What is that? What is that?
That's a clown show, man. I told you, man, we living with a bunch of clowns, man. I'm ready to jump in the circus, man. I'm in the bottom bit of the circus, man. Give me the elephant. I'm the elephant with the ball, right? That's right, Dawson. He was coming to Washington to get that check. He was coming
Get that
to
check.
get that. That's right.
He was coming to get that check. That nigga, hey,
And then, you know,
look here, man. And Joe Biden, he used to ride with them damn. He ride with them damn Ku Klux Klans, man. Matter of fact, all his partners is grand wizards. All his Jegners, all his what they call it, mentors, were grand wizards, members of the Ku
wait a
Klux
minute,
Klan.
wait a minute. Stop. Let me Hey, Shaq, can I let it take roll one more time?
Zelco is a low-code application development platform
Let
that
it
has
roll
helped
one more time,
organizations of different
that was
sizes to
Sunday at
modernize
church
their
Sunday.
IT, build custom applications for your unique business needs fast using our intuitive
Them Negroes, man. These Negroes are
Try
suckers, man. We gotta stop being suckers, man.
Today, we all remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his impact on the civil rights movement.
Yeah, and President Biden delivered the keynote speech at the National Celebration.
We face another inflection point in our nation's history, one that's going to determine what this country looks like several decades from now. You know, this is a time for choosing. Will we choose democracy over autocracy, or community over chaos, love over hate? These are the questions of our time that I ran for president to try to help answer, and that Dr. King's life and my view shows forward. Just look back, we got to be prepared.
We want to bring in
Man,
now
cut that
Antoine
check.
Seawright. He is a Democratic strategist. He is also a CBS News political consultant. And I know that you have supported the president. You have been there as the president has made many of these commitments to the Black community. Overall, what are your opinions of today?
Look, I think the president hit the nail on the head. In fact, the president did a great job of what I think about in terms of talking about issues. Those on
Man, we tired of talking, man.
minds
We trying to get that check cut, dog. If y'all ain't talking about cutting that check, man, I don't want to hear nothing.
in some
Cut the check, Nick.
cases, but main issues for years.
Reparations now, Nick.
Did a good job, as we say, reminding folks of the receipts of the work that he has done over the years.
Definitely showing the receipts there.
Yeah, you know, Antoine, the president in front of a national audience that is carried on multiple.
Why the president say we're gonna cut the check to the Black community then?
Network, others as well.
I didn't say that.
But this one was.
That'd have been more powerful than talking all that mumbo jumbo.
Because of the audience he had, because of the lunchtime hour. Energy-wise, for people who are not used to seeing the president speak, might have been tuning in today. They're not at work. They're the content, also the delivery.
Oh, I think the president was spot on. Look, the president knows that the same him as the president of the United States. And I think he knows that. He knows that he may.
Man, we tired of these motherfuckers coming and just speaking. We want action, dog.
Cut that goddamn
We want
tape.
tangible.
Cut that tape right there. Did you hear what this clown just said, man? The same people who picked the cotton picked him as the president of the United States. Wait a minute, man. Let me get this straight. Hold on.
Hey,
Who this
hey, them
clown, man?
Negroes
I
don't
need to
speak
look
for
him
me,
up and
dog.
send him a Twitter.
Yeah, look him up. Hey,
That
cause
boy
you
don't
don't speak for me, player.
That's right.
You
That
don't speak
boy
for
is
me,
the
dog.
craziest.
Hey, look here. I'm like, cut the check, nigga. All this talking,
wait a minute,
y'all.
man.
Hey, no. Cut the check,
Hold on,
dog.
man. Hold on,
Damn
man.
that talking shit.
Hey, yo.
I don't want to hear no speeches no more.
Who's in it?
We all speeched
Where's
out.
this guy from? Let me let this guy continue. Well, let me let him continue talking. Let me see where
Nah,
he's
man,
from.
look
Where
him
this
up.
guy talking from, man? Hold on.
Yeah, check him out. You gotta pull his
Antoine C.
coattail,
Right?
dog.
Let's look at this guy up.
Commitments
You gotta
to
pull his
black
coattail.
voters throughout his tenure in government as an elected official, and he continues to really lead on the issues that he made.
Man, stop it, dude.
Everybody loves Joe Biden.
That man
because
told black
Joe
folks that
Biden
that
knows
we
the
got it
issues that
when he
are
got in get
important
off that we got to get behind and
whether
get
you're Democrat,
and
Republican,
talk to the
black or
Latinos,
white,
dude.
whether you're
Stop
California or South
Stop
Carolina.
it, dude.
And I think today he wanted to remind black people he has not forgotten about them, and he's going to continue to work on the issues that he promised, including his commitment to
Just
doing
cut the
something
check then.
about an issue in this country, housing.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
that. You have an opinion piece in the Hill, Antoine, today. You praise Secretary of
These
Housing and
niggas
Urban
suck,
Development, Marsha Fudge. We also heard the president do the same, saying that the key to generational wealth in this country is home ownership. What has she successfully accomplished
More than no.
in terms of
We
the
need
housing
land
crisis?
grants, like
And where
Dr.
are the
King
areas
said.
that we still have more work to do?
Colleges and shit. We need our own
I think the
education.
president did a good job of
Financial
laying some of the
institutions.
things he did, but he
Yeah,
also
ain't mean shit if you got goddamn
folks
home
that
houses. If the goddamn
100,000
bank can
vouchers
come
to
take your
help
house
folks who are in need with rental assistance, the
and
billions of
implement
dollars to
eminent
help
domain.
folks
Yeah.
gain home ownership. The fact that student loans were
Man,
a
that's
barrier
garbage.
for some folks in terms of being qualified for a home. She's changed that. The fact that she's put money into housing counseling so folks who can get a home can stay in a home. And that
You might have
is
to
just
mute your
a
mic,
few things
Bernard. It's
Secretary done.
echo.
Keep in mind, it was just in the mid-1960s where black folks they had serious barriers where they could not own a home. In that regard, from redlining to restrictive land use policies that exist in the 60s, it was Dr. King who led a movement in Chicago to prevent those things. And now here we are having similar discussions, but yet we now have an African American at the leadership of HUD, understanding our challenges, understanding the generational things that we're back now, implementing changes that will meet those.
As it's Martin Luther Jr. Day, I'm going to share one of my favorite quotes. I know that you are also a scholar of the late Dr. We may have all come on different ships, but we're the same boat now. Antoine, you're right. Thank you.
Showing up on the first.
Man, cut that check, dog. I don't want to hear no more other speeches. We all speeched out.
Forget that clown. Forget
the check,
that
nigga.
clown. Forget that clown. Because I'm looking him up right now. He is the founder and CEO of Blueprint Strategy LLC, a public relations, advertising, political consulting firm based in South Carolina. He has led many grassroots efforts for political clients at the national, state, and local level. He has advised campaigns for governors, Senate, Congress, state legislatures, and other down ballot races. He also advised the 2008 and 2016 presidential campaigns for Hillary Clinton. He has advised the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, South Carolina Democratic Party, Georgia State Democratic, New York State Democratic, and the South Carolina State Democrats in Protecting Our Vote, Democratic Super PAC. He served as senior advisor to the Democratic Congressional Campaign, DCCC, and the Democratic National Committee for the 2020 election cycle. He will continue to serve as senior advisor to the Democratic Congressional Committee, Campaign Committee for the 2022 election cycle. He went to Winthrop University. He's a CBS News political contributor, and he is also an opinion writer for The Hill, BuzzFeed, BETnews.com, and the Christian Recorder. He also hosts his Insight with Antoine C. Wright, a weekly public affairs radio show based in South Carolina. All right. I just read them. I just gave this guy's bio. See, when these guys put their names up on their screen, look them up, please, and find out who they are. See who that guy talking to you. He ain't nothing but a damn fool. Well, he just running cover for them. Because I don't know what made him say no dumb stuff. The same people that picked cotton voted for Joe Biden. This man talking crazy. The man is mine.
Look here, man. Now, I would imagine if Dr. Martin Luther King was still alive, I would imagine he would have eventually ran for president of the United States on the Republican ticket. And I guarantee you, Joe Biden would have had the same energy when they had the same, because a lot of these Democrats, these Dem nuts, they have a lot of bad blood for so-called Republicans. Now, I don't know whether they plan us, because we know some Republicans, like Trump called them, rhinos, they are working with Democrats. And I think Democrats and Republicans should work together in the best interest of the United States. Why are they always fighting with each other? Fake fighting with each other anyway. That's divisiveness in itself. Then we get in the middle of that. They play us in the middle of that when it comes time for election. And all this dirty laundry get airing out. And we got to so-called pick and choose. But people are already mostly don't know these people until they come out.
Well, I know
right?
that guy right there.
And we only have a certain limited time to pick and choose.
If I ever see that guy run for office, Shaq, I'm gonna let you know, hey man, that's the guy we looked at the video right there. That guy right there, that's the one.
That guy running for office, man. That guy, he gonna be running for governor somewhere, or he gonna be running for Congress somewhere in the future. Believe that.
He might be a little sweet.
Believe that.
He might be a little sweet, man. You know, I know.
But Dr. King said, hey man, he was coming to Congress to cut that check. Y'all gave these land grants out to these y'all, like he said an economic flow up. What they still doing for immigrants now? They still doing it now. They set up economic flow for immigrants to come to this country and set them up with land grants and shit. Come on, man. Why we still getting shoved to the
Let me bring up one more thing before I go. I forgot to tell you, Kamala. I forgot to pull up two things. Hold on, I got you. There was another little thing that Biden did the other day. Forgot about this. Now, how about on the same day Martin Luther King Day is? I tell you, man, some of this stuff be like social conditioning, man.
Of course. It's clout chasing.
On the same day he met with Martin Luther King, he met with a basketball team called the Golden State Warriors. Now watch what Kamala Harris tells them. She says she's not taking no knee. Watch this.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
Hold on, I gotta show you this. I got to show you this. You gonna laugh. This is gonna make you laugh. But Kamala Harris says she ain't doing it. See, the Biden trying to run a bad goods on it with the Golden State Warriors. They go look at all the clowns up there, you know. I mean, ain't no problem. You know, they got to bring the sports stars. So they've been doing this for years. This ain't nothing, but they didn't want to go when Trump was president, so that's no. But I'm not even talking about it. Now watch this, Shaq. She said she ain't gonna take no knee. Saw that right?
No, I can't really see it. I gotta zoom in. Play it.
I play it back.
Hold on. Yeah, play it back. I zoomed in on it. Let me see. What was that? That bite? What was this?
Yours, and she's not gonna take no knee. This is Kamala Harris.
Well, who was this taking the knee?
Kamala Harris.
Now, who is this taking the knee though?
Biden.
Boy.
Joe Biden.
What? This nigga retarded. They laughing at this nigga. Why? Is he dumb?
Well,
What he
what's
taking the knee
going on,
for?
man? What's going
What is
on?
he taking the knee
See, we're
for?
thanking the Golden State Warriors for winning the championship, and there's social
Okay.
justice cause and all that, and
Okay.
part of the BLM stuff was taking a knee.
No. But nobody in NBA took a knee. That's what I'm confused. I'm confused. What NBA player took a knee? What
You know
NBA
what?
team took a
They
knee?
did. They did. They would get down on the floor on one knee and hold arms and stuff. They did doing the BLM stuff.
Man, stop. Man, stop.
Yeah.
Man, stop.
But they did that in the bubble when they were doing all that social justice nonsense. Yeah.
Man, that's in the bubble, man. Taking the knee was way before that. That County Captain got kicked out of the league for taking the knee. See, this the bullshit. This the fraud. When the NFL players was taking the knee, no NBA player was taking the knee and did not disrespect the so-called the national anthem. I mean, the flag. They stood for the flag. They didn't take the knee doing the flag. Bullshit.
I've never been healthier.
Watch the pandering, though. Watch the pandering, though. I want you to watch the pandering.
Of course.
Good afternoon. Everybody, please have a seat. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. It is so good to see everyone. What a wonderful day in Washington, D.C. So while we are gathered here, I do want to take a moment to address the many Californians who have been in that has hit state. They are very courageous first responders are in our thoughts and in our prayers. And I've been in constant contact with California state leaders, and the president will have more.
They're right there. Now you so worried about California. Why you got the Golden State Warriors at the White House? They in Washington D.C. They were playing the Wizards the other day. Why you at the? Were you so worried about California? Why they ain't in California? Why you ain't in California? I think California, you
I'm
claim
trying to
that more important
understand,
than being in.
but I'm trying to understand, Benoit. Why is your Biden taking the knee 7-8 years later? Really? They really thought that was appropriate? Really? Boy, I tell you, boy, these
Man,
motherfuckers some
stop it,
suckers,
man.
boy.
Just relax, Shaq. Shaq, just fucking relax, man. Relax, man.
Hey, boy, these
Relax,
motherfuckers some
relax,
suckers,
bro.
boy.
Relax, man.
Boy, these
Relax.
motherfuckers suckers, boy. I kick that nigga on his shin. I kick that nigga in his shin,
Hey,
nigga.
at least they going to the White House. That was all, but they said they're not going to the White House to meet with Donald Trump. So what's the problem? At least they go in there, right? Shit.
Hey, man. Look here, man. Hey, did none of these, hey, did none of them,
Let her talk. Let her get a little piece of, you know what I'm saying.
man, she's that woman, I don't like her, man.
They are very much those Californians in our mind. And now I will talk about our beloved warriors.
They got Ice Cube or somebody there that's talking about a contract with the Black American. These niggas ain't talking about signing no contract. They talking about signing a contract to get they shoe deal. Yeah.
It gives me immense personal pride as the Vice President of the United States to say, Dub Nation is in the house.
Having cackling hens, bro.
My family and my Bay Area friends are among the many who are gathered here to congratulate Golden Warriors, the 2022 NBA champions. So on a personal note, I have been a Warriors fan my entire life. And this team has been a constant source of joy and for me, together with our family who are here, have watched this team on television and in person. I have a fond memory of a particular playoff game in Oakland at Oracle, So we were headed to the game, but stuck in standstill traffic. And we were working with Attorney General Calhoun, and to the dismay of my security detail, I decided to jump out the car and take Bart instead. And got on a jam-packed train with all the other fans. We got to the game on time. And yes,
You can get your ass to the game, but you can't get your ass to that goddamn border, though.
and I even caught my Lakers fan husband cheering them on. After President Biden and I were elected, the Warriors presented me with a jersey with the number 49 to commemorate my number as vice president, star treadmill at home. And as many of you may know, I work out every morning. So every morning I look at that jersey, a symbol of grit, determination, and teamwork. My pride in the Warriors today is not only because they win, but because these players, their coaches, and consistent for the principles of equity, equality, and justice.
You lying. You lying.
I can tell you, that's what I was getting to.
With great integrity and all of this, I congratulate
Man,
our
cut that check,
Warriors,
Nick.
and it is now my great honor to introduce two people who embody and live by these important principles. One of them is a two-time MVP and a four-time NBA champion. The other is the champion of our nation. Please welcome Steph Curry and the President of the United States, Joe Biden.
I'm tempted to say as honors them to be here speaking. I'm not sure I wouldn't be more excited if I was standing back there.
To ultimate IV without pills.
With Apretude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of HIV without daily PrEP pills.
Kamala.
The goddamn prep. I can't believe they put that prep commercial in there. That ad, man. I can't believe they did that. But
What's up?
She was on a train. That would have been
They
no
need to be.
news. She been telling a story.
That mother been lying. Well, why she didn't get her ass on that train and get down to that damn border though?
Why
Down to
Steph
that
Curry
border,
coming
nigga.
out with Joe Biden? Is the question for me. Why Steph coming out with Joe Biden? That's it. Now you do know that Steve Kerr and them said they had conversations after this and talked about how to stop gun violence in America. You do know they had a little bit more talk than just some damn little round table at the White House. That's why she talked about diversity and inclusion, because they had talks with the Warriors on how to stop gun violence. All right, just letting you know that.
Well, I don't have no problem with them talking about stopping gun violence, but you ain't gonna stop gun violence, and you ain't gonna, you know what I mean? First of all, this is a gun country. Matter of fact, the people that took over this country took it over by guns. Actually, they took it over from the Indians by guns. So all of a sudden y'all want gun control? Y'all want gun control now?
I'm gonna
After
get his
our
bad.
ancestors, our American Indian ancestors was violated with the gun and by the gun?
I'm gonna
Okay.
get it bad for 3
All right.
minutes, Chak, and we done with him. So I
All right.
got one more talk to talk about.
Well, thank you very much. Feels like a war home game, and the toughest ticket in town. And this has been a tough ticket to get in town. Nancy Pelosi, where are you? Greatest speaker in our history, and this is our home court right here. Folks, so wonderful to be here. Paul, good to see you, Paul. Some members of the California delegation here are also here, along with several city and state leaders. But as Kamala said, we're all closely monitoring the storms, the floods, the landslides all across California. And our heart is with all the families in the communities that are hurting, and all the brave and historic and heroic first responders. And the entire delegation, I issued a disaster declaration, support recovery and rebuild. And I'll be traveling to California on Thursday to assess the damage and see what additional support may be needed. Difficult moments like this remind us that we are one America. One America. And folks, I know the team we're honoring today understand, but it's me to say Golden State Warriors are always welcome in this White House. No more droughts. I mean, in California. Congratulations to Team Loader, Peter and Joe. Congratulations to the staff, coaches, and fans, and most especially the incredible players standing behind me. Today, the Golden State were all of sport. And 4 NBA titles, 6 finals, and in the last 8 seasons. That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad. The stat line of a dynasty. But the last couple of years are pretty tough. We struggled in 2020, missed the playoffs in 21, and critics wondered if this team was gone for good as a championship team. But fellas, I know what it feels like. I've been there. As my dad used to say, Joe, get up, and never give up. But you never gave up. You always believed. Coached by one of the greats. Man of courage and humility. 5 rings as a player. 4 as a coach. Steve Kerr. By the way, he's run out of fingers. You all see the size of those rings? He has to walk around like this. Well, I tell you what. And one of the best executives for us, Bob Myers. To rebuild.
All right, that's it. I ain't gonna do that no more. But I just want to let you know that's the way they're going with it. You know, for the Golden State Warriors and stuff like that. They just trying to gonna get us anyway back into the game and all that stuff. There was one other thing I'm gonna bring up, but I'm just gonna bring it up and I'm not even gonna pull it up. It's just a thing about the media. I mean, it's called Fet for Fame. People are binge eating now to get clicks and likes. So basically, you get obese and you eat a lot of food and show how much you eat and you get clicks and likes and stuff. That's what it's called, Fet for Fame. So we have to come up. Yeah.
Now, who had a who did a skit about that? A certain comedian did a skit about that. Do you remember? You know who it is, right?
I don't know. Bruce
Dave Chappelle. On the Dave Chappelle show. No. Dave Chappelle, when the Dave Chappelle show was thriving, when it was popping, that he had one segment of skit where he did Supersize Me. Pull that skit up. I wonder if you can pull that up. When he pretty much rolled around and ate fast food for like 30 days straight. He had a whole skit, Bernard, called Supersize Me. I kid you not.
Hold on. I guess this is it right here.
Everybody saw the movie Supersize. Right? You saw it? That's a movie about the white boy eating the guys for a month. It's about this white guy was scared. This white guy was giving McDonald's for like a month and he gained all his weight. We don't have to worry about that because we're eating healthy pizza. But Dave had an idea what if that was black? And this is what happened.
Ever what would happen if a black dude ate nothing but fast food for 30 days? I was going to maximize.
Oh, maximize.
I have to advise you against if you do this movie and let these people buy you food for a month, you may die.
You will die.
I live in the hood. I go die every day. Got my dad walk across the street. I see
You can die every day, B.
What are you talking about?
I see the guy stick a fire pack up a can butt and lit that shit on fire. Pow in the hood.
Pow.
I give this movie permission to kill me. Cookies, pies, cakes, anything you can. Any kind of food you want to kill me with, nigga, bring it on. Now I have 2 half pounders with cheese.
And apple pie.
Julia? I need more ketchup.
Ain't no more ketchup.
What the fuck is this? Hey, this ain't no ketchup. All right, I got it. Thank you.
She thinks she cute. She thinks she cute. She thinks she cute.
Shit. Come on. Goddamn.
If you do this movie and let these people buy you food for a month, you may die.
I don't feel so good.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Time out. Oh. My chest.
I'm dead. Hilarious.
You see what happens when Earl goes from candy jams and black-eyed peas to quarter-pound hamburgers with extra cheese. Amazing. Seen anyone go through such a transformation in 30 days? But hey, what can I say? All your vitals or signs are fantastic.
They're good, huh? The reception thing right now. She thought I was at TV. The skinny one.
Who?
Dave Chappelle. Listen to this. Hey everybody, I'm the skinny motherfucker that wears hats. I look like JJ from
tax.
What a difference a month makes.
I got dog titties, don't I?
Oh, dude. Oh, shit. I rate that on a
So
scale of
that's an
dynamite.
interesting skit. But I just wanted to point that out to you,
Man.
brother. But like I said, I think I'm gonna go to sleep in a little bit, man. I've been up since 6:30, and I gotta get back up at 6 to go work on this guy. You know what though? Something did happen today at the gym though that's very interesting. You know what happened?
Who's that?
Young brother, I think his brother plays overseas, and he played overseas. I know he played college or whatever. But he came up and he said, "Man, what's your shoe size?" I said 9.5. He was like, "You got a pair of shoes? I mean, you want these shoes?" He like somebody, a girl or something. The girlfriend of his bought them for him, and he couldn't fit them. He said, "Can you wear them?" I said, "Yeah, let me check them out." I thought he was joking, but he came to the car and actually had the shoes in his hand and stuff. And they're in the closet right there. I just put them in the closet, tonight or whatever. I gave him about $28.
Oh, so that was your size?
Yeah, I gave him $28 for them. Interesting, right?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I've done that before though, Bernard. I gave shoes away.
The first time a guy bought me a pair of shoes, though.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not the first time. About 2 or 3 times it happened. Matter of fact, it's so funny. The other guy, I saw him on the road this morning because I was riding somewhere and he happened to be going to work, and I saw him. He was the other guy. Yeah, he gave me one too. And matter of fact, I saw both of them in the same day. Coincidental, right? But yeah, it was cool. So I told him, "Man, thanks, bro." He about 26 years old, young guy. He talk a lot of trash, when he out there playing. But I guess he's a nice guy. I mean, he just gave him. I did joke with him though. I joked with his brother. I said, "Wait a minute, let me ask you a question, man." I had to joke with him a little bit. I said, "Bro, you come out here and play ball, but you got a Chick-fil-A bag in your hand, man. Why you doing that, right?" And he said, I mean, Chick-fil-A play ball. I was just joking with him, what I'm saying? But I just said, daggone. I just, like you showed me this version, I just never really ate fast food or nothing about play ball. It just never made sense to me. Actually, I don't eat it that much anyway at all. Hardly at all anyway. I'd rather go to a restaurant or something if I'm gonna eat like that, you know what I'm saying? Just me. But nevertheless, it was a good thing. But yeah, this was a great show, man. I'm glad that you got to learn. You talked about free speech. We talked about MLK, which we should have been talking about. In matter of fact, MLK Day was Sunday. And by the way, Dawson, I meant to say one thing. Cincinnati and Buffalo play each other again on Sunday. And they said Damar Hamlin has been at the Bills facility every day getting better. If you believe it. But Dawson don't believe it. And I don't believe it either. I think there's some things I'm missing here. But I just let you know that's how it goes. But if you want to believe it, it's your story. What's not true, Dawson? Hold on, dude. What's not true, Dawson? About Damar Hamlin? Look, man, they act like the man up in there. They make the man like he out there lifting weights and stuff, getting ready for the game or something. Man, they might even say they might even put him on the field Sunday, not playing though. She said that he's still on camera. You know what, Dawson? You're right. You ain't seen that man on camera, have you? They've been telling you a lot of stuff. Let me say something. The FAA, the Flight Administration, they did admit that the heart attacks are being caused by pilots. He's at home. Oh, he's very ill or dead. Gotcha. They did say that the heart attacks the pilots did stuff with heart attacks. They did come out and say that. Even got it on Gateway Pundit. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, Dawson, they claim that he's at home, you know. They claim that he's at the facility working out. I mean, not working out, but, you know, rehabbing and things, you know. They act like a rehab. This ain't no goddamn ankle injury, man. What the fuck? I mean, Shaq, we got to keep going for the banana to tailpipe all the time. Come on, man. What is going on?
Man.
No, I agree. Something ain't right. They need to put the man on camera, have a PSA, like Biden have a PSA in the White House with the Golden State, whatever, a PSA with DeMar Hamlin to make you believe it. And you still might not believe it. Man, recovering very quickly, though, so now I understand.
Wow.
You saw that? They requested non-jab paddle. Oh shit. That's interesting. Now that's interesting. I gotta look that up. Thank you, Doug. Tell me. I gotta look that up. That's a good thing. Oh, they made sure their plane ain't got them crash. And you know that Ukraine minister got killed too. They brought that up today. The Ukraine minister got killed. I think it was in a plane crash. I'll go back and look it up. Yeah. But that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
very interesting.
I gotta do another one of these free speech shows. Matter of fact, the next time the judge said he wants to come on and talk about free speech or something like that, because he said they're getting a little bit too more wacky now, and he said they need to iron some things out because he said it's just getting too out there, and like they're coming up with some wild ass ideas, like. But nevertheless, oh, by the way, Madonna has been accused of sex trafficking. I told you earlier, Madonna going to South Africa, and then all these people going to South Africa get children. You can get children out of the United States. You got another country to get some daggone children.
Yeah, man, I think that's weird. That thing is for these so-called white folks, what we call white folks, going to Africa and these damn, and they getting a lot of them, boatload, like they multiple of them. Then they changing their gender and stuff, man. That shit's sick, dude. They sick. That's some sick shit to me. They need to be locked up.
Can I go adopt some Ukrainian children?
Who?
Can we go adopt some Ukrainian children then? Is that cool?
Boy, stop.
I'm asking. I mean, everybody adopt children. I mean, we can adopt some Ukrainians, right? Yeah, over there, dead body. You ain't what the hell? What'd you say? Shit.
You need it. Hey, why she don't go to Kansas City, Missouri, and adopt some of them damn children in the damn slums, the white slums in Kansas City, Missouri?
They ain't important. Goddamn it.
Oh, wow, really?
They want to adopt yours to turn them into freaks and pedophiles and homosexuals.
Yep, and they probably grooming them for the next, you know.
That's what they doing. I told y'all Madonna was a damn freak. I ain't believe me. But nevertheless, it's all good. But look, Shaq, hey, I just want to thank you for coming on. And I want you to tune in to my boy Frank Nitty. And because I didn't even know he was having a show. I forgot about it actually. Because
hold on, is Nitty on right now?
Yeah, he's on. And he actually
okay, yeah, tell Frank, man, tell him I'm going ahead and jump on there, man. I jump on and finish up with him.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I be forgetting about Frank, man. Yeah, I'm gonna jump on.
It ain't forgot about it. It's just that I you know, I did this. It's just I did this, and I had told you earlier, and then actually he asked me to jump on and stuff like that. But I was like, and then I just happened to see you because I was about to cut this off because you weren't in at 10 o'clock, and I was about to cut it off. But nevertheless, we got it done, and he's on right now, so it's all good. But he's doing a great job. He's talking about Edward Bernays, so go ahead and jump on. Now I'll be in the background. I might even for a minute, but I'm going to lay down right quick. So, you know, but take your time. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Peace. Yeah.